Right boys, we're going to start a seshki today. Cold approach session number 1. I've been here like 8 days. It's my first actual session today. But before we start, I'll show you this little market near to my house. I can already tell before we get going, it's going to be a long one today because I can't even get a taxi across the main side. They're all trying to rip me off. So I've decided, okay, I'll walk. If that's how it's going to be, I'll walk. So let me just show you a little bit of this market. Then I'm going to get breakfast. Then we're going to go start the seshki. So this is the breakfast stop. Serious cake shop. But yeah, we're getting this to take out, then we're going to get moving.
Non posso entrare.
Okay, so that was most certainly an error of judgment. This is what happens. Not a good way to start a session. No ability to warm up really. It's just completely hemmed in by chubby Turkish grandmas, which is not good. Which is not a good thing. It was ridiculously packed as well. So yeah, a little bit claustrophobic. But anyway, I think I found the route out of that area. Onwards and upwards. This is what it's about in it really. It's all going to go to shit anyway, and that's always going to happen at some point. And of course this is a test. Of course it is. It's going to rain soon as well. I'm ready for it. I'm absolutely ready for it. So let's keep pushing. Right, so this is how you don't start a session in front of the Turkish police just at the end of the call to prayer. But that is how we will be starting this session today. In fact, the call to prayer is still going. So, this is Taksim Square, a lovely square. A bit of tourist activity for us here. Is where I was supposed to start about 90 minutes ago. But I was getting smashed by the taxi driver, so I decided to walk in. Perhaps slightly impulsive on my behalf. But what else was I going to do? And it all went to shit. Fine. Now it's raining. Here we go. So the challenge is going to be, I think, let's see if we can do one in the square here. It'd be nice to do an approach in Taksim itself. See how that goes. And I think then we'll move down the road. Perhaps I'll go section by section down. I think it's Istanbul Road or whatever it was. So let's have a look what's going on here. See if we can get one in. I may get the camera out again just to continue to get myself warm. The weather's fucking abysmal. People's umbrellas and stuff are flying off, but let's see what we can do. Right, boys. Certainly this is one of the grittier days of approach I've done. But we have managed to get it rolling. First one out. The first attempted stop didn't stop because I think she thought I was a street vendor. There's so many street vendors here. So the next two, I went in just to get directions. Went into a couple of hotties just to get some directions, which was a good thing to do because after the walk, you probably saw in that video, I was quite pent up after the walk and the rain and everything. And so it wasn't really till the third approach where I started to go in with a bit more of a real approach. So what is going on with this? So yeah, I've done 4 The last one was pretty solid. Let's see if we can knock at least a couple more out. At least one more, that'll get me to 5. Given the conditions, that wouldn't be too bad. I feel like I needed this session as well. I've been with my mum and then a friend from Sheffield who's an interesting guy. So for the last 5-6 days, so this is a nice little run out. Two of the kids. Okay, so just to summarize the end of that session yesterday, today. 5. Did 5. In summary. A difficult session today. What I did basically was just start on a 2 gain directions, and then moved up from there. I'm not going to detail it all now. I'm just on the metro now. So I decided to come out tonight. I'm going to go to a bachata tonight. So this is all part of the adventure. I'm basically trying to navigate my way across the city, find some venue. I already texted the guy. Let's see what happens. I think it's going to be good, actually. I think it's going to be good. I'll get some footage when I'm inside. I had to reserve a ticket, so it's going to be interesting. Okay, so the night has just ended. Good little night. Good little night. Some good dancers in there. Now there's just the small matter of getting back home. So let's see. Metal detectors, always reassuring. But yeah, I don't even really know where I am. So let's see how we do with this. So this is my version of an unhealthy kebab. At the end of the day, chocolate croissant. So these are the shizzle. Right, we're down here by the tower in Galata. And all I'm going to do now is just do a quick debrief. So I obviously discussed the session earlier on. So I'm going to give a debrief overview of the things I did right and wrong, things that went well and things that didn't go well today. So I actually did a couple of things very wrong in the session today. Not entirely my fault, the first one, which was I walked for nearly 2 hours to get to the starting point. You definitely don't want to do that. If you're new to approach, don't do that. Get yourself to the starting point, and as soon as you get out the car or the taxi or the Uber, start firing off approaches straight away. You don't want to be lingering around for hours before you start on your session. So as soon as you are in the place, it's kind of like you want to stay switched off, you know, when you're on the train or the Uber or whatever, but as soon as you touch down, you want to start firing off approaches, okay? And if you can't approach, you want to start firing off compliments. You want to stop and ask girls for directions. You want to go into coffee shops and make an order and talk 20% louder than normal. Ideally 100% louder, but 20%, at least it's a start. And then have a bit of banter with the people in the coffee shop. That's what you want to be doing at the beginning of the session. You do not want to walk for 2 hours in the fucking rain. But the reason I did that was because the taxi driver they were trying to charge me 30 quid to come from Hagia Sophia to Taksim, which is a maximum 5 quid taxi journey. I've just literally got a taxi across town for less than a fiver. I was like, bro, I'll take a tenner. I'll even take 15. Don't try and completely sodomize me here, right? So that's why I ended up walking. So, you know, I'll forgive myself on that one. But it is an error, and you don't want to do that. Okay, so I'll reset myself. Next issue that I had, which was not really my doing, I can't control this, was the weather. You don't actually want to be doing an outdoor daytime cold approach session in the pissing rain. I think that's fucking obvious, right? I did it anyway because by the time I got up there, I wasn't turning back. I did even go into a shopping centre, but there was just nothing happening there, so I ended up doing the whole thing outdoors. So those would be two things, you know, two errors, two certainly suboptimal aspects to my session today. The extremely long walk before I even started, plus the atrocious weather. But I kind of had a feeling at the beginning, I thought, this is going to be a battle today. The gods are going to test you. It is what it is. You know how they roll. So that was the start of the session. Now let's talk about the good things that I did today, because I did some very good things today. Strategically, the thing that I did very well today was have the humility to ease myself into the session. Ease myself into the session. I'm out here solo. I've had the walk in the rain. It's pissing it down. Okay. I may not be, and I was fairly pissed at the beginning. I sent a message to the entourage just to sort of almost let off a bit of steam. I think I probably dropped a few F-bombs in it as well because I was just annoyed. But I also knew I'm going to do a session. So yeah, I dropped those guys a message. And well, that's actually the first thing I did well, which is communicate with friends. I'm on a session. Those guys get what's going on. I didn't even check the messages till later, but they did send like encouraging messages. But I basically was just a little bit of letting off steam, and I've got in my mind, at least some of my wings, even if it's virtual, they know I'm out here fighting the good fight. And so that's one thing I did well. The best thing I did well though today was gradient. Start off at the lowest imaginable task, okay? Because after that beginning, you're not going to be going over to Miss Universe, rocking her world, and having to pulling back a day game threesome or something on your very first approach, right? That is not happening. It's not happening, okay? For me today, I knew it wasn't. I know myself, and so I go down to basics, right down to basics. How many approaches I've done, it doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. It's humility. I know this is a weird thing we're doing, and I'm a year into it, a year and a bit into it, a year and a half into it, whatever. Let's go down to basics. What can I do right now? What I can do is I can go over to 2 attractive girls and I can ask directions. Okay, so that's what I did. That's what I did. So my first 2, I literally stopped, just asked for directions. And actually the second, I think both cases was a pair. The second pair was a couple of Canadian girls. And I can see they were quite, even that approach went down well, A dapper gentleman here, and have a hood up. Not a black hood anyway. So that was also kind of an encouraging sign. Okay, the session is getting moving now. Approach number 3 was, this time, I'll compliment first. And then I'll ask directions. So that's what I did. And the compliment went down really well. And all I literally said to the girls, excuse me, first of all, you look really nice. Tone of voice. Do you know where the market is? It was like the jewelry market or something. I'm looking for the jewelry market. She took the compliment. She lit up with the compliment. You look really nice. That's all. Imagine how it's so simple, isn't it? You look really nice. Yeah, but said in a meaningful way. And so she enjoyed the compliment. And then she said, we started talking about the market. She said, I think it's closed today, whatever. A bit of back and forth for a few minutes. And then her friend came and then they walked on. Very good interaction. So by that point, I've had 3 positive interactions. Those are my sacrificial sets. They don't even count. They're a warm-up. They're a warm-up. Okay? What it's doing is it's putting me in front of beauty. Because they were all attractive. So it's putting me in front of beauty and I'm engaging with it. Okay? So it's normalizing it in my mind. 4th one, I actually can't remember what happened. I know something happened. I know I did a 4th. And the 5th one was the one I was actually most pleased with, even though it was arguably the shortest, because it was very, very direct. It was very direct. That was really what I wanted to do, was to go out and express myself and be honest with the world. And this was in front of she's just in front of a shop, like kind of hiding away from the rain. I saw quite a few guys looking at her and stuff. I was like, man, one of these guys going to approach her. Obviously they didn't. And then I swoop in. Excuse me. You look amazing. Well, I think I said you look incredible. It definitely hit. It definitely hit. And then I actually went on, I said something about her clothing, what she was wearing, or she had like Doc Martens on. Very sexy girl, sexy face. And she appreciated it. She appreciated it. And actually, what she kind of did is she just kind of broke rapport in a very subtle way, which was like, cool, I'm going to go back to, she said something to me like, I'm going to go back to what I'm doing here. But I appreciated it. I appreciated her response, because it was kind of like, it was a well appreciated compliment. If you do enough of this, it doesn't matter but it's nice to get that. It's nice to get that. I feel like I kind of, the positive responses today, I do feel I kind of earned them, to be honest, by putting it in today. So it's interesting, that one, the reason I like that one was because it was off the bat truth. It was truth off the bat. No bullshit, no nothing. So that's the power of daytime approach. And then I go have dinner with my mum and my mate, and then I go over to the salsa stuff as you saw there. It really does sort of completely, cold approach is just the best, man. It's just the best, because then you go out later on at night and it's just kind of like, whatevs, dude, whatevs. I've got, when you've laid it out like I did in that 5th compliment today, just so directly, the other stuff that I kind of used to do, will kind of work my way in there with different girls and stuff like that, you know, like slowly in the dance scene and much more subtle and gamey and stuff like that. It's just kind of like, you just kind of can't, it just cuts out all of the middlemen. So now when I go to dance, I just go to because I enjoy it, and I do. I love it. It's so good for your body. And that also, I mean, it's a great compliment as well. It's a great compliment to the seduction process. Because essentially all these girls I'm dancing with, all they are in, A, I enjoy it, but B, they're just practice for when there's a girl now and then that I'm actually know that I want to close. She's back in my place or whatever, or we just go to the park or something and I bring her out to dance. There we go, that's all just practice for her basically. She gets the benefit of all that, she just gets the finished product. And it's just very interesting as well seeing, you know, you see how everyone else is doing things. It's very timid, and I obviously understand it. Yeah, I was more bold really than that, but still, it's kind of bold but subtly a bit. It's definitely less direct than daytime approach. So you kind of see that it's just a lot of you're just cutting out a lot of the middleman basically. And it's funny as well, like there's some girls, like there's a couple of performers and stuff there tonight. It was actually quite a big thing, and it was like one of the performers, it was weird because she was looking at me quite a bit while I was dancing, and I was like, I'm assuming she wants to dance with me, I don't know. And then I went over to bring her out to dance. She didn't want to. I was like, okay, fine. I'll just dance with this next one. And the sting is so minimal. I mean, that's one good thing about salsa and stuff anyway, is you get used to the yeses and nos just on you taking the girl out. But the sting is so minimal because you're sort of like, you're kind of used to it, you know, from daytime. Like you get all these different things. It's just whatever. You can absorb it quite easily. The strange thing is with dancing is sometimes I actually feel like with dancing it's a little bit more weird if the girl's like doesn't want to dance. You're kind of like, I understand why a girl wouldn't want to give me her number in the street, but like it's kind of like, well, what are you here for? If the girls don't want to dance with you when you're out, or they specifically paid to come to a salsa night. But anyway, whatever. So that's my debrief of the day. We'll finish off just by the Bosphorus here, down by the river. All I've had today was like fucking two pastries and some fucking potato wedges, 4 coffees. There we go. Diet of a hardcore cold approacher. I feel like I'm almost pushing myself. Like I'm making myself do it in this gritty way. I don't know. The river here. Is there anything else I'd like to add to this? Is there anything? I've covered a lot there. This is almost like a live where I cover all these topics. Is there anything else I'd like to cover? No, I think that's pretty much I think that's pretty much it. We'll leave things there, boys. God bless. I'll be coming back out again for sure, probably in the next 5-6 days. So I will return, and we'll do at least one more session in Istanbul. And yeah, yours truly will certainly have covered. I've covered some territories this year. Belgrade, Bosnia, and Istanbul. You know, there's not too many guys who've done hardcore cold approach in all three of those places, so that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm increasing my experience across the different terrains, you know. So we'll leave it there. Peace and love.